Hi, I'm Matt from SpeakPrac. I recently did the IELTS test and I scored a Band 9 in speaking. And as part of that, I actually scored a Band 9 for Lexical Resource or vocabulary. So everything I'm sharing in this video is battle tested and is fresh from the real exam. Plus, I know it works and hopefully it can help you too. In my other video, as part of the Ultimate IELTS English Speaking course, I broke down myths about vocabulary and I showed you my method for how to deeply understand, learn, and use new vocabulary. Now this video is no longer about learning. This video is about doing. This is an interactive workshop where I want you to speak and at the same time improve your vocabulary. I'll guide you through a powerful practice routine that can turn theory into a skill. We'll be using the SpeakPrac app so that you can record yourself and at the same time improve your vocabulary through a cycle of speaking, analyzing, and improving. And then I'll show you how to systematically build up your vocabulary using our specialized IELTS flashcards for Anki. As you continue your IELTS journey, remember that this video is part of the Ultimate IELTS English Speaking course and it's completely free. The course hub page for this is at speakprac.com/IELTS Speaking course. There you'll find the course structure, video lessons, as well as other resources that can help you. Check out the link in the description below as well as on screen right now. So if you haven't already, download the SpeakPrac app so you can follow along. Of course, you can practice speaking by recording your speeches using your phone's free recorder app, but that free recorder app has several limitations. It just won't be able to do what the SpeakPrac app can do with your speech. Let's get to work. The SpeakPrac Cycle, your active feedback loop. The single most effective way to improve your vocabulary for the IELTS speaking test is to create an active feedback loop. I like to call this the SpeakPrac Cycle. It looks like this. You speak, you then analyze your speech, you find areas to improve, and next you immediately practice again, incorporating what you learned. This cycle builds active vocabulary faster than any other method. Let's walk through one full cycle using the SpeakPrac app. Step 1. Your first practice speech. Let's do a practice speech right now using the SpeakPrac app. You can use the topic screen and select a pre-written topic in question for guided practice. Or you can choose the speak button in the middle of the bottom menu bar to speak about any topic you want. This is great for more freestyle speaking practice. Now pause this video and go ahead and do your first practice speech. You should speak for at least 30 seconds and then you can come back to this video so you can find out what to do next to improve your vocabulary. Step 2. Self-diagnosis with SpeakPrac. Okay, speech done. The SpeakPrac app has instantly transcribed it and given me my metrics. Now for the most important part, the analysis. The first thing is to look at the original transcript. You'll see that under the original tab text. There's also a play button there so that I can listen to my original recording. So I read my own words and listen back to the audio. And I ask myself, did that sound natural? Could I have worded that differently? This is where you become your own coach at first. For example, I said certain things that were too simple. That's okay, but it'll bring down my IELTS speaking score. And it doesn't quite capture the complexity of the feeling I wanted to convey. And now for the awesomeness of the SpeakPrac app. I tap on the improved transcript. You can see this under the improved tab text. Here, the app gives me suggestions for how a native speaker might have phrased it. You can see how it transformed my very simple sentences to much richer content that would elevate my IELTS band score. It gives me ideas for vocabulary that are more precise or more sophisticated, but still sound natural. Now here's another way that SpeakPrac can help your vocabulary. I want you to use the Quick Tips feature, and especially pay attention to the vocabulary section. This is where the app pinpoints your priority vocabulary issues. The Quick Tips analyze your entire speech and identify the most impactful vocabulary upgrades you can make. Instead of overwhelming you with dozens of suggestions, it focuses on the words that will have the biggest impact on your score. Look at this. The vocabulary section has identified some higher band words that could replace my more basic phrases. This is important because it shows me exactly the kind of sophisticated vocabulary that IELTS speaking examiners are listening for, but still trying to keep it as natural sounding as possible. So this is your personalized feedback based on your speech patterns. The SpeakPrac app isn't just giving you random vocabulary, just like in a textbook or in a dictionary. The SpeakPrac app is identifying the specific words that will upgrade your way of speaking. Now that's the difference between generic study and targeted improvement. Step 3, learn and practice a new word. It's your turn. Now this is where the feedback loop closes. We found a new word or some words that the SpeakPrac app suggested to us. So now we need to practice it to make it our own. We'll use the M.A.P method or M.A.P method we talked about in the other IELTS speaking vocabulary video. Remember the M.A.P method? M, master. We master the meaning and pronunciation of new words we encounter. A, associate. We then associate it with situations. And in our case, since we use the word in a speech, we can then associate that word in that context. P, practice. Now we practice that word by speaking it. This is your turn. I want you to do a practice speech right now. Open the SpeakPrac app or just speak out loud to your screen. If you do have the SpeakPrac app, then you can use the SpeakPrac button so you can freely practice any new words you learned. And what's great with the app, again, is that you can get instant feedback, a transcript, and metrics. When you do your practice speech, your goal is to use the new words you learned just once or twice in your response. Don't force it. Just tell a story and I'll give you 30 seconds to speak. When you're done, in the SpeakPrac app, you can press the stop and save button. So pause this video and do that right now, then come back so you know what to do next. Ready? Go. Great job. See how that works? You take your own speech, you find one or two things to improve, especially in terms of vocabulary, and then you immediately practice speaking again. Doing this just a few times a week will surely transform your active speaking vocabulary. Systematic vocabulary building with Anki. The feedback loop in the SpeakPrac app is perfect for practicing words you discover. But what about finding the right words to learn in the first place? How do you systematically build a high band vocabulary? For that, I highly recommend using a tool called Anki, combined with our pre-made digital flashcard decks. I've used Anki for many years, and I consider myself a bit of an expert with Anki, and I've actually learned other languages to fluency using this system. And if you don't know, Anki is a spaced repetition system. It's like smart flashcards. It learns how well you know each word, and it shows it to you right before you're about to forget it. It's incredibly efficient for moving words into your long-term memory. Anki is free, so you can actually make IELTS vocabulary flashcards yourself. But the problem is, making good flashcards takes a lot of time, so We did the work for you. We created the IELTS English Vocabulary Flashcards bundle. And it's got 3 decks, each designed for a specific stage of your IELTS vocabulary journey. Deck 1 is the IELTS Essential Vocabulary deck. This is your foundation. It's based on the top 2,000 most frequently used words in English. And there's actually academic research that shows that mastering these words is crucial for clear communication in English.
Give your opinion. Opinion. Give your opinion.
Deck 2 is the IELTS Advanced Vocabulary deck. This is where you start climbing to the higher IELTS bands. It's built on the next block of most frequent words from 2001 to 5000, and these are the less common words that the IELTS speaking examiner is listening for that will surely push you towards a band 6, 7, or even 8.
Comprehensive. Comprehensive. The guide provides a comprehensive overview.
Finally, Deck 3 is the IELTS Academic Vocabulary deck. This is for students aiming for the top scores. It's based on the official academic word list, the vocabulary you need for university and professional settings. Now, there was some research on this from linguistics researchers out of New Zealand that showed that using this academic word list will help you cover a lot of the academic vocabulary you need for speaking and writing, even listening and reading. These words allow you to discuss abstract topics with precision, and they're certainly key for hitting that band 8 or 9. Now, the best part of the Anki decks and the SpeakPrac app is that you can use these 2 methods together. For example, if you learn the word comprehensive from the IELTS Vocabulary Flashcard deck, then you can practice speaking that word too using the SpeakPrac app. You can learn a new word from the Anki decks.
Comprehensive.
Then open up SpeakPrac and use the speak button to do a freestyle speech about that new word. Then you get feedback and then you continue the loop. All the while you're systematically building up your vocabulary to those higher IELTS speaking bands. When you combine these methods like that, that's how you truly make a word your own. Your action plan. All right, that was our workshop. We covered 2 powerful practical methods. Method 1, the SpeakPrac Cycle, your active feedback loop. Record yourself, analyze your transcripts, and practice new words immediately. You can do this with your phone recorder app, but the SpeakPrac app is much better at giving you transcripts, metrics, topics, and feedback. Method 2, systematic learning. Use spaced repetition to consistently learn the most important vocabulary for your target band score. Check out our IELTS Anki flashcard decks that save you time and effort. And remember that when you encounter important new English words, don't just learn them passively. Practice using those words in your speech, and that'll help increase your IELTS speaking score, especially the part about lexical resource or vocabulary. If you found this video helpful, there's more waiting for you at speakprac.com/IELTS speaking course. There you'll find everything you need, including all the videos from the Ultimate IELTS English Speaking course. I've got resources and everything's for free. Look, my friends, the most important thing to do is to start speaking. Knowledge is useless without action. I truly believe that anyone can speak English, and that's why I've built tools to help you do just that. But here's the thing, even if you have perfect vocabulary in the levels of band 7, 8, or 9, your score could be dragged down if you keep making basic grammar mistakes. In my next video, I'll be sharing some of the grammar blind spots that could be holding your IELTS speaking score down. and I'll also share ways that you can fix them. Now, if your vocabulary is great and exceptional, but you keep making grammar mistakes, then this next video could be a game changer. Watch it next.